We're Allison, Hannah, Josie, and Jimmy, and we selected Airbnb's Live There campaign. Airbnb was founded in 2008 and was instrumental in accelerating the sharing economy by allowing people to make money from their home by either renting it out to travelers or hosting people in an extra room. By 2016, Airbnb became the largest lodging company in the world with 1 million listings in nearly every country, effectively disrupting the hotel industry. However, according to data released in 2016, Airbnb was still relatively unknown. Only 11% of consumers surveyed had stayed in an Airbnb, and less than half of them were aware of the brand. Therefore, Airbnb needed to increase brand awareness beyond the niche consumers who are currently using the product and convert existing hotel users to consider an Airbnb experience. For a generation of millennial consumers obsessed with finding Insta-worthy experiences, the importance of travel cannot be overstated. According to Airbnb research that inspired the Live There campaign, consumers said that traveling was more important to them than buying a home, car, or paying off their debt. However, the reality of travel left much to be desired. Nearly half of people surveyed stated that they'd prefer going to the dentist rather than navigate through a crowded tourist destination. This led to cognitive dissonance among consumers who loved the idea of travel and the experiences that it could provide, but loathed the reality of it. In order to reinstate the balance that the dissonance disrupted, a new group of consumers needed to be persuaded that a different, more personalized travel experience was possible with Airbnb. And with that, the Live There campaign was born.
The target audience for this campaign was new travelers of the century, millennials. Not just any millennials, but millennials with families. As shown in the Live There campaign, which features tourists and segues following a leader, millennials have chosen not to follow the leader, but be immersed with main character energy in the discovery of a new place. Live There emphasizes the ability to romanticize and discover new cities for yourself, which is what millennials respond to in today's social media age, where Instagram-worthy pictures are sought after and admired. Millennials want to discover something new, which is most likely found outside of the common tourist and hotel chain locations. Airbnb visualized for their target audience a glimpse of the life in a city or town that rivals what they have seen in the movies and read in books. The adventure travelers and their families and the target audience that Airbnb's Live There campaign targeted through their ads featuring children building forts with their parents in a home away from home, and a couple enjoying a date night making dinner together in France. The campaign is focused squarely on the experience and selling a lifestyle to experience-hungry millennial parents sharing the culture of a city. One of the strategies used in the campaign to appeal to this audience's desire for authenticity is a persuasive comparison, contrasting ordinary travel accommodations versus Airbnb's offering of a more unique experience. The video advertisement begins by showcasing the typical attractions that tourists are drawn to, but a persuasive comparison is drawn in the next shot as the audience glimpses into the new and exciting experiences they could have if they were to choose Airbnb. This storytelling urges them to seek unique accommodations that reflect both in the spirit of the destination and in their sense of adventure. In this way, it took a peripheral route according to the elaboration likelihood model of persuasion and focused on superficial aspects of travel experience that Airbnb provides. It appeals to the target's desire to go off the beaten path and gather experiences. Appealing to the millennials in their target audiences with families, Airbnb also strategically emphasized the human aspect of the Airbnb experience with the Live There campaign by redefining the role of hosts and providers of accommodations into cherished and trusted insiders who offer valuable insights and recommendations. It is akin to visiting a family member abroad and having a home away from home. These elements were essential in evoking a sense of trust and familiarity with traveling families who are often just looking for the least stressful accommodations. The campaign was effective in resonating with millennial parents who still crave those unique experiences even after starting families of their own. The campaign utilized a variety of ages and races of people representing the everyday traveler. No celebrities or gimmicks were used to lure travelers in, like in prior campaigns featuring Mariah Carey back in 2015. Just authentic people who are seeking adventure and a unique experience. The Live There campaign was Airbnb's largest global campaign at the time and featured a mix of television commercials, cinema, digital media, out of home, social media, and print. A mix of 15, 30, and 60-second ads were created, and nearly 1/3 of the paid media budget was allocated towards social media. The campaign utilized new ad formats on Facebook, TV on Twitter, and a custom Snapchat filter. This innovative media and storytelling strategy was employed to capture consumers' attention by showing up in a surprising and engaging way. The Live There campaign proved to be successful and significantly exceeded awareness and consideration goals.
The global campaign was launched on April 19, 2016, as a 60-second TV spot that would go on to be the anthem of Airbnb. Don't go to Paris, live in Paris. The campaign would go on to feature 15 and 30-second ad spots, as well as digital, out-of-home, and print creatives that showcase the Airbnb community while contrasting standard tourism with the unique experiences offered by their brand. This campaign balanced their audience's cognitive dissonance by equating the Airbnb experience to the familiarity of being at home, while simultaneously appealing to their audience's desire for adventure. The campaign was assessed through Airbnb's two main objectives: growing consideration and increased awareness, the latter of which directly correlated with nights booked on Airbnb. Within 6 months of campaign launch, it was evident that the results from this campaign were substantial. By mid-year, Airbnb had surpassed almost all annual awareness goals, increased their global consideration by an average of 7%, and made significant inroads with families as an audience. Consideration increases in South Korea and China, Airbnb's most challenging markets, even met or surpassed those of Western markets, making it Airbnb's largest campaign to date from a health metric standpoint. Just a few months after the campaign was launched, Airbnb became profitable for the first time in their history, with a 10% increase in long-term stays during the campaign's run and 80% growth in revenue from the previous year. However, the campaign did have some limitations, specifically in its failure to address the perception that Airbnb contributes to over-tourism and housing shortages in some cities, which may have impacted its reception in certain regions. Despite this, the Live There campaign garnered dozens of award nominations and led to Airbnb being internationally recognized for their diligent efforts in tailoring the campaign to local cultures and preferences. By directly challenging the cognitive dissonance between loving to travel but disliking the tourist experience, the Live There campaign solidified Airbnb as a global leader in the accommodations industry.
The potential next steps for this campaign would be to apply it in a creative way where their target audience gets engaged and is part of the conversation, such as the 2016 Oscars. Airbnb's marketing team figured that their usual target audience wouldn't be just watching the Oscars, but also tweeting about it and looking up what others are saying. Other companies spent $20 million on a commercial spot, while Airbnb spent nothing and won a silver award in the mobile category at Cannes Lions. Another opportunity expanding this campaign has been through famously collaborating with international superstar Will Smith, who designed the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air mansion and offered it to local LA residents to rent for $30 a night to commemorate the 30th anniversary of the show's pilot episode. Proceeds from the rental of the home went to the Boys and Girls Club of Philadelphia. Collaborations with hosts and owners of famous movie locations, such as the Home Alone house and Bella Swan's house from the movie Twilight. Also, hosts in different cities have renovated their homes to resemble famous filming sets, such as the Friends TV show themed home in Houston. There have also been opportunities to personalize their guest stay with authentic local experiences, such as going out for drinks with a local Parisian for an extra charge. The Live Anywhere campaign contributed further into immersive local experiences that would be shared through the traveler social media that Airbnb would financially sponsor. It seemed to us that Airbnb has done a great job in expanding from the original Live There campaign. However, there is still a stigma when it comes to a hike in rental pricing and housing shortages due to the spike in tourism and Airbnb being the most popular and economical option for travelers. Live Their Hometown Edition would incentivize hosts to assist with the housing shortages in their communities. People who need somewhere to stay for an extended period of time could rent out Airbnbs at a residence price. Airbnb could offer a stipend to the host for making such contributions to their community. Cognitive dissonance would take part in, although locals may blame Airbnb for the rise of rent or housing shortages, they would still be able to support by being Airbnb hosts themselves and be part of a movement.
And finally, these are our references. Thank you for watching our presentation.